So most of you know me. My name is Sanjeev Gupta. I've been with the club for a couple years, and I've had the pleasure of meeting most of you and chatting with most of you, and gave talks on my main focus of my collection, which is U.S. dimes, cat bust dimes, and also coinage of India. But a few months ago, I'm not sure if you recall, our president John Gunsner brought out some wooden nickels from 1972 that the club had issued. And it caught my eye, and I had it on my desk for a while and didn't quite know what to do with it. And then a couple weeks go by, I look at it again, I'm like, I wonder if they made more. And I'm like, I don't know that much about wooden nickels, except like they would be at coin shows when I was younger. So I did a little digging, and I'd like to spend time with you talking about wooden nickels and wooden money in general. So the topic is don't take any wooden nickels. As the saying goes, 4 common cents is worth more than 1 wooden nickel. Slide.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
No, no, you're
I should have known my cue.
So, that being said, in the early 1900s, the phrase originated not to get swindled, especially if you're going to the big city. For whatever reason, they would take advantage of rural areas, people from rural areas, and some say wooden nutmegs were mixed in with bags of real nutmeg because nutmeg was such an expensive seasoning or spice. So if you mix them in a big container, you could maximize your money as an unscrupulous nutmeg dealer. An important point is that the United States never issued any wooden money. Slide. So where did wooden money come from? As with a lot of things, it came out of necessity. So you look at the currency that was shown earlier, and that continental currency was like, it's easier to carry around paper than carry around bags of gold or whatever the case may be. And in this case, the Depression era bank failures led to money shortages, and the first wooden money was actually produced in December 1931. So when folks would come to, they would use this for trade, and the 1280 was guaranteed at the bank, so you could take the wooden money and exchange it for real money. But in order to conduct commerce, they were able to use this wooden money, and $1,280 was issued. And I know people often ask, well, what are some of these things worth? Are any of them valuable? So with this talk, I decided to put in benchmark amounts. And this particular 25-cent issue of wooden money sold recently by Heritage for $630.
Heritage Comics?
Heritage Auction House. They're a major auction house, kind of like Saks Bowers or Bowers Marina, Rudy Galleries, among others. Slide, please. So the other big claim to fame is the Blaine Relief Association in Washington. They were having a similar problem, and they actually decided to print several denominations that they could use in town. And again, when folks were visiting town, if they wanted to buy something, they would get change in this wooden money. And they could take it to the bank and get actual currency or coinage back for it. But a lot of it, people kept as keepsakes when they went back home to wherever they were visiting from. And the town did something a little different. All of them were hand signed by this guy, Reverend Floyd Green. And this lot with all of the denominations in there, that also sold recently by Heritage Auction House for several $100s. So that was kind of the origin out of necessity. And if we go to the next slide, what happened next is that people thought, hey, maybe we can use these things for advertising or souvenirs. And the early issuances, first one was, one of the larger ones was the Chicago Century of Progress souvenirs. And if you can see the design, it's raised, it looks really nice, almost like a coin in my opinion. This picture is from eBay, but you know, and then in 1934 in Binghamton, New York, They issued wounded money as souvenirs for their civic celebrations. And one thing I want to dig into, if I ever give this talk again, is apparently in 1938, this company, J.R. Rogers out of Ohio, copyrighted the design for wooden money.
Wow.
So if you wanted to make some, you had to have them make it for you, which struck me as odd, but you know, I didn't come in contact with wooden money until I was like 5 or 6 years old in the 70s going to coin shows with my dad, so I didn't know any of this history. But thanks to the internet and some other resources, there's a lot to be learned about wooden money. Thank you. One of those resources, believe it or not, there's a club called the International Organization of Wooden Money Collectors. I've mailed in my $7.50 check. I filled out the membership application, but I haven't heard back yet. So I assume they're kind of, you know, working through their process, but they put together a newsletter 11 times a year, and it seems like the hobby is alive and well. And just like we have local coin clubs here in South Suburban or Colorado Springs, there's a lot of national coin clubs that have a lot of interest. You know, I'm a member of the John Wright Collector Society, and hopefully soon I'll be a member of this organization as well. So there's lots of resources out there. So I don't know that I am going to, yes?
They had those in the casinos, right? As like a tip jar?
I don't
Wooden coin.
know.
I never seen wooden coins until the second time I was here.
Yeah, that's probably when you saw the ones that he was handing out.
I
and-
heard of them.
Yeah, and I'm sure they were used, you know, almost like, there used to be a bar in Boulder where it was like a buy one, get one free, and they would give you a token for your free one that you would turn in for a free drink. But there are thousands of wooden nickels, similar to tokens and other exomania. You can buy bulk lots on eBay, and if I were gonna start collecting, I think I would try to organize them either geographically, focusing on Colorado issuances, but you know, they were also issued by coin clubs, schools, saloons, political advertising. This one caught my eye. Somebody, Richard E. Cohen was running for coroner and was handing out wooden nickels to get his name out.
Huh.
And even an orthodontist here in Littleton, Colorado, I'm not sure what year that was getting his name out with wooden nickels. So that's kind of exciting. And John Gunsner of Front Range Lumber Company, his company also has wooden nickels. So stop by the shop sometime and you'll get a little taste of the fact that wooden money is still alive and well.
So the coroner one, wouldn't it be fun if we put, hey, you can put these on your eyes when you need to?
Well, it's just really struck me as
One set with every injury.
That's right. That's right.
So,
The orthodontist has a area cover on it, so that might actually be fairly recent.
Fairly recent, exactly.
yeah.
So, and if you want to create your own wooden nickels, you can certainly do that. The Old Time Wooden Nickel Company out of Clearwater, Florida, issues 1.5 inch standards, which is the size you typically see, jumbos and laser engraved, and the price depends on quantity. You know, if you're ordering 50 of them, it'll be a lot more expensive. If you're ordering 500 or 1,000, it'll be cheaper. You know, from about the high side $1.50 a piece to the low side maybe 25 to 30 cents a piece if you're ordering enough of them. So I assume there's a lot of setup costs and design costs associated with that.
Is one enough for your collection, just one wooden coin?
I don't know, it depends on what you're up to. Like a lot of collectors like to have stuff to trade with others because I blur the line between being a hoarder and a collector.
Yeah.
I don't like parting with things, but if I've got an extra and somebody's interested, I'm better about parting with things. So this is actually a picture of the first annual dinner meeting of the South Suburban Coin Club
Wow.
in 1969. So, believe it or not, I was sent this picture, or I came across this picture because there's a Facebook group of wooden nickel collectors, and I said, hey, I'm interested in wooden nickels. I'm a member of the South Suburban Coin Club, and I posted a few pictures of the coin you handed out, and I got this response back, hey, I've got one of those. This is probably from your club. And I looked at it, I'm like, you know, you're right, but I have no idea what the Hackney House is. So I looked up the address, and that building is still in the Denver area, and it was originally built in 1961 to house El Madero's restaurant, and it's been through multiple generations. But at one point, we hosted an anniversary or an annual dinner meeting there. So coins tell a story, they have a history, wooden money tells a history too.
Do you think they'll still take the wooden nickel
Uh,
restaurant now?
Well, you know, that begs the question, how many of these things are still circulating and around? So I'm gonna pass a couple around that I was able to pick up from eBay that are in these slides. And I was able to pick them up for, I think, $2 or $3 and another 99 cents in shipping. There was this year, I think it was one of these I didn't buy because the guy wanted $12, and I was like, oh, not
That's
for
outrageous.
That's outrageous. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gino.
That's fine, you can go that way, yeah.
So, but at any rate, you know, this is the one John Pastor gave out a while ago. There's 73, 74, and 75, and the previous slide was 1969. And you know, we have different designs, not just wooden nickels.
How valuable is 1972 wooden quarter?
Excuse me?
How much is the wooden quarter from 1972?
You know, I didn't see any for sale, but the fair market value might be $3, it might be $300. I wouldn't pay that much for it. Maybe I would.
$3?
I think it depends on the time. But I think as a keepsake and as a connection, kind of like, you know, Mr. Hallenbeck responded to earlier, he's not parting with that 18.98 cent, whether he's getting a dime for it or a nickel for it, because it has meaning to him. And I think a lot of collectors are in a similar space, you know. Next slide, please. So I can say that wooden nickels were definitely produced by the club in those 5 years. Quantities, I don't know. And we also know that rarity doesn't always relate to value. So there might have been 30 made, there might have been 10 made, there might have been 300 made. How many survived? Getting those records, I'll leave to better historians than myself, but there are longtime members here from the South Suburban Coin Club. I'm not sure that they go back to 1969. But the fact is that, you know, at some point, maybe somebody will do the research and try to do a census of different batches of wooden nickels. The annual dinner meeting seems to be held in March and was at the Paradise Valley Country Club. The Paradise Valley Country Club, I'm not sure, has anybody heard of it or remember it or know what it was?
Country dinner club? Oh,
Yeah.
that one was over there.
I remember the golf course.
Well, and that's, apparently it was, you know, it was owned by this family that owned a lot of property. They leased it to create a golf course, and then it was privately held, and I think it's trying to be redeveloped again.
It's been redeveloped. I thought they
Yeah.
had a golf course right
Please.
next to I-25 and 225, and it extended, yeah. And it's all been built up now. But it used to be a little looked like par 3 golf course.
Yeah,
That's
and-
what I remember.
And
That wasn't
they-
that long ago. That was
No,
like 10 years ago.
Right?
So,
So there's a lot of history there, and coin clubs do support the community by hosting annual dinners and things like that as well. And as a treat, and with the blessings of some of the other club members, I decided to have some coins laser engraved for the club. So Rutna, if you could pass those out to folks, I would like to give each of you a 60th anniversary celebration of our coin club. And this is a wooden dime, and the design was inspired by the 2026 dime being issued by the United States Mint. I haven't found one in circulation yet, but I haven't found any 2026 coinage in circulation yet.
Somebody brought one
I have.
at the
You
last
have?
one,
They've
yeah.
got
okay.
it, they've come into the store.
They have come into the store?
Yeah.
Great. What's that?
I got it down.
Do you?
got dimes and quarters, half
So-
hours haven't hit yet.
Yeah. So
They're out and about.
They're out and about. I guess I don't make, for being a coin collector, I really don't do many transactions in currency and coin anymore.
That's the challenge.
So, it is a challenge. It begs the question whether one day credit cards will be as collectible as coins and currencies or stamps are, because they're a medium of exchange. But I'll leave that to somebody else to figure out.
I have about 15,000 credit cards
Do you really?
expired.
Okay.
Yes.
And see, I've always been told to cut them up. So, you never know.
Yeah, and that's why he has 15,000, because most people can cut them up.
Yeah.
And so Ken is imagining a world where, what are all these little plastic squares? Why would people use a piece of plastic to conduct transactions? But again, it's our hobby, it's money.
Well, even
It's a
pencil
medium of
checks from
exchange.
famous people have gone up in value, military payment scripts and things like that, so. they
I have
tell a
some
story.
military payment scripts in that little notebook right there.
Yeah, and it makes you think of, you know, a soldier overseas taking this to the BX for exchange, and why would he not buy something, or she not buy something?
I
if
have
it
those
takes
in
it
there
home?
from
Yeah,
West Germany.
right, so you would think that's a lot of money in those days.
What? And so is this the last slide?
I think so. There might be, oh, no.
Oh, wait, there,
oh,
there are
sorry.
your references.
So as far as references go, I mentioned the Facebook group earlier. There's also an organization, a book on Canadian Wood and Money by Norman Wells. I tried to track down a couple of these books, the Guidebook of Wood and Money, but they're long out of print. And I'm not that committed yet to collecting wood and nickels. I'm gonna take the free information for now.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple more slides.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The other reference is, I got a lot of the ideas for this from a presentation given by Kenneth Swab to the Montgomery Con Club in 2009. Please.
So if you're an A&A member, they have a wonderful library. They may have these copies of these books in the library, and you can order them for free and have them for maybe about a month or so.
You can borrow them, yeah.
Borrow them,
We have
and
done
then you
that.
would send them back to you have to pay the postage to send them back to the library.
And I've actually taken advantage of that service because I was looking for a book by Altekar on Gupta Dynasty coinage. I'm like, I'm not gonna find this, and even if I do, it's gonna cost X amount of money. And I went to my library, see if I could do an interlibrary loan, and then somebody mentioned the ANA. Sure enough, it showed up in the mail, no charge. I held on to it for a few weeks, enjoyed it, did a lot of research, was able to attribute the couple coins I had at the time and sent it back, and I ended up finding a copy of that book a year and a half later, and one of these days I might give a talk on having a numismatic library and the pros and cons of that, because as my wife can attest, I have more coin books than I need, but I really like them.
He's got a lot of
John
stuff.
gave me 2 woods.
Sounds like my wife.
He's a hoarder. Just kidding.
Yeah.
There's like a Beckett,
Oh, so,
Here's the,
sports card.
advance the slide back.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I know what
I have a
The
question.
coin, what do they call?
So-
Reference guides?
I added this point at the end, you know, history of the South Suburban Coin Club and the Denver Area World Numismatist. I know a lot of people have brought stuff in, so, please, if anybody would like to speak up and share some of their historic items and stories, I would, love to hear about stuff.
He had a question.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I did have a question. I noticed
Please,
that
yeah.
one of your wooden nickels looked like it was pressed or actually minted or something like that. I don't think it was carved.
I don't think it was carved either.
Was it, do you think it was pressed, kind of like the old cotton or tokens that the cloth tokens that?
Yeah, it was raised because it
It was
has,
raised,
yeah.
it was raised, so it almost looks engraved. You know, good, people do, but that's pretty intricate engraving. if
Yeah.
you're-
More, certainly not something that could be mass produced in the 1930s. But if I do decide to buy one, I'll bring it in and pass it around, because I'm curious too. I almost think it could be a composite that might have been
Right,
soft
and that's what I
pressed.
was thinking, John, that it might be like a particle kind of a board that you could actually press.
Right.
Yeah, I think you hit on that. They would get the wood and cut the planchets, and they had dies, and somehow with steam,
So the wood serves like a planchette.
Yeah, and so they actually could press them. I don't think they struck them like a coin. They would press them with the steam, which would loosen up the wood enough to where it would hold its position and after they released it. So, yeah, there's whole sets of medals that were produced in 1876, large medals
Okay.
that were wood, and that's the way they did it.
Well, and I know I've seen like, people have stamps for filing court documents that you would stamp and the raising
Yeah,
would
there's an
stay on the
embossing
paper.
machine, there's
Embossing,
like
thank you.
yeah, it's an embossing machine.
Right, and those were very durable, you
Yeah.
know, the embossing, you can tell that it was officiated by the courts for decades.
Yeah.
What was that?
And then they signed them underneath.
Right.
And put the dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
I'm wondering what kind of wood.
Again, it's a little bit beyond the research I did, but, now I'm curious to the point that I might have to order one of these. Or some type of composite, but,
Well, what kind of wood did you use?
actually, I don't even know. I actually reached out to a gentleman on Facebook because he said he does laser engraving and metal work, and I'm like, would you be interested in making some of these for me? Because I like to support local businesses, and even despite giving the reference to that old time wooden nickel company, my quantities would have been way more expensive with them. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'd be happy to do it. You know,
Oh, that's
kid
great.
trying to get his business off the ground, and you know, he made me some prototypes that we passed around at the last club meeting, and he actually made me 50 of them for $100, which I thought was a very reasonable price, and even delivered them to my house. So
Wow.
I don't think the old time wooden nickel company would have done that. They would have charged me postage. So
And the Uber fee.
well,
No, I'm just kidding, I'm sure it's
no, but you know, when you think about, you know, what you could do with like Adobe Acrobat and other graphic arts tools, giving artists a chance to share their work with the community, I think is worthwhile.
Quick Google search
Yeah.
basically says they're either beech or maple.
Beech or maple, so
It's
not
not
any
tight.
type of composite or anything.
No, because the tight grain won't splinter if you were to engrave it or do any kind of engraving, so. there's-
Interesting, that's very interesting.
Okay, so beech or maple can take that heating process well, okay.
The ones that I'm aware of were walnut.
Is walnut a softwood also?
No, it's a hardwood.
That's a
It's a
hardwood.
hardwood,
If you
okay.
want a hardwood, they don't splinter when you. start
Oh,
engraving.
okay, sorry. See, I'm showing my ignorance now.
This almost feels like, a carving wood, like basswood.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Light.
And they make rounds, like, if you wanted to order them
Yeah,
from
you can make
Amazon or
rounds.
something else, you could get your own rounds. And if you have a laser engraver at home, you could put together keepsakes for any number of things, baby shower, christening, whatever the case may be. So maybe wooden nickels will make a comeback, maybe they won't, but if, times get tough, we do know of another medium of exchange now. I think that's the last one, I'm not quite sure. Oh, this is another one I found from the Denver Coin Club.
Oh, look at
And I was
that.
able to pick this up on eBay, and this was issued in 1976. And their organization is a little bit older than ours. They were organized-
1876.
Or 1976. They
Oh, it
were
says
organized
1970.
in 1935, so we were organized, I guess, 1966, if
Yeah,
we're
we
coming up on our
passed our
60th.
50th.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty, you know what, Ken, do you know, having been a former ANA president, what is the oldest coin club in Colorado? Was there one in Cripple
Not
Creek, or was there
good,
one in
no.
Denver back in the day?
Probably either Denver or Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Probably Denver, I would guess, but I don't know for sure.
They're
Do
hitting
you have any
the
idea
90th
what
this
year your
Right.
groups formed?
The Denver one?
Wow.
Okay, just was wondering.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, you know, that a lot of the information is people move around the country or retire from collecting, or a lot of our history is lost, but some of it can come alive again with a little bit of research and talking to people and sharing your love with it, and hearing the stories and listening them and ingraining them. So I appreciate y'all being here, and I know a lot of you have given talks on topics and bringing your own interest in, and that's what makes it happy. Please.
So I have one more question. This
Yes.
is for the ANA guy.
Oh, good. I'll
So-
thank you, because I
Do
can't
you
answer
guys
this.
keep historical records of your clubs?
If it's donated to the ANA, yeah.
Do you have like a membership list or a membership or like the
Archive.
founding of, or, you know, like, kinda like an archive of club records?
Well,
Throughout the country.
at one point, the A&E used to publish a membership list, names and addresses, and I think somewhere around the 1940s sometime, there was, you could go to A&A library and they would have copies of these booklets. And they quit publishing it because then it became a beacon for bad guys to go in and rob the good people. Oh, let's go by his house. And so they quit publishing it for that reason, for security. But I have some A&A lists from like 1935 or 38 or something like that. And they published all the names.
Wow.
And there was a Hollenbeck in like 1935 or something. And no relation, but yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good history in the library of the A&A. And you could go down there and make an appointment, but you could go down there and actually spend several hours in the library, and the librarian or his assistant would help locate that for you.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you very much.
Another interesting thing, Ken, that you would know, the ANA is one of the very